Well, thanks, Ryan. And I just want to say I'm always honored. I'm always humbled, always excited to be asked to share anytime, but specifically and particularly for the Philippines. I've for the new people, I won't go through it, but you know that of all the years, my love and my belief in you as a people, you as a culture, is is very special to me. So it's always, it's always humbling when I have a time to share with you. But this morning, for me, in the morning, is even more special. I was thinking as I was preparing for this that I had the same feeling. I actually tried to find a word for it. I couldn't find a word, but well, I found a word that actually means what I was going to say, but nobody would know it. I didn't know it. It's kind of like when I found the word syzygy, trying to discover something. But anyway, the time we all share this feeling sometime in your life. I remember for me specifically, I remember when my first daughter was born, and I was so excited and so overwhelmed for the future for Carla and I of being parents and having one of our dreams come true. But I remember on the way home that morning when Courtney was born, not just being excited and overwhelmed, but a little bit challenged, a little scared. And I'm sure some of you can relate to that, whether you get a new job that you're very excited about, you're incredibly excited you landed the job, but you know it's going to be a challenge, and maybe it's really going to test your all of your experience, all your education, and all of that. And I say that this morning as for the subject that we're going to be talking about. And I guess I can share my screen. You must have co-hosted me, Ryan. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Yeah, it looks good from our end, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, and I think, some visuals might help for this morning, but I'm, I've been privileged of being in the business and having a front row seat for the entire beginning and growth of the Dornan organization, and was privileged. I've shared before, I was at the very first preview, the very first time they did a marketing plan outside of their home at a hotel. And it wasn't called a preview then, it was called an open meeting. The names have changed, but the environments have been pretty much the same since the beginning of in the birth of, you if you will, of the Network 21 system. But I was privileged to be there. I was privileged to be at the first really group meeting that we call a BDS today. And I was there when they announced their original first team name, which was MIH International, which is humorous because no one was building international and they had no vision of an international business, but the name of their organization was MIH International, which stood for Make It Happen International. And so I remember that morning, it was the very first meeting I had actually been to, any kind of big group meeting. I thought it was overwhelming. There was just a little over 100 people there. And I thought it, was to me like a stadium of thousands of people. I couldn't believe that 100 and so people would come out on a Saturday to learn about the Amway business. But I was privileged to be there. I was privileged to be when Jim and Nancy, when Carla and I were first coming out of retirement, and that phone call when they first talked about the concept of Network 21 and the launch of Network 21. And I actually found the hotel in San Francisco that was the worldwide launch of Network 21. And that's when Jim and Nancy brought diamonds from all over the world. There weren't as many diamonds, it wasn't even close to the amount of diamonds, but from Australia and Austria and just different places around the world. And we met at the Omni Hotel in San Francisco. And that was the launch and the vision of Network 21. And so I was privileged to be in a lot of the launches of that. But this morning is a little bit for some of you like the morning I had coffee with Jim and Nancy Dornan at a restaurant near their home. And Jim was laying out his vision. It was actually really Nancy's vision that Jim was called on to execute, which was to take the Network 21 system around the world and to begin to open new markets around the world. And I have to confess, I don't know if I've ever said this in a meeting at the Philippines, but it wasn't that I didn't believe in Jim's vision, but I did not participate in it. I remember leaving. I don't think I told him, but in my heart, I really wasn't up to, my focus was so much on my market, North America, and the momentum that Carla and I had in North America. And actually, I really looked at Jim and Nancy's vision of a worldwide business and taking the Network 21 system around the world. I really viewed it as a distraction in my goals at the time. And I just say all of this, I was wrong. Let me just go on record. I was so wrong. And I missed today, if I would have listened to Jim and would have participated in his vision, I will tell you right now that Carla and our business would be easily 5 to 10 times bigger than it is right now. But I missed it. I didn't join into that vision till way late in the program. Thank God I finally came to my senses, and I did, because if I wouldn't, we wouldn't be on this webinar tonight. Because you and all of the relationships in the business that we have in the Philippines came because I finally really checked it out and began to get involved. So I've been preparing for this. You guys know that we've talked about this for a long time, that my feeling that technology had now moved the Amway opportunity to an entire new level, because now that it was possible to duplicate the Network 21 system right from your own home, just like where you're all sitting tonight, wherever you are. That the business had changed. That now that it was possible to bring the opportunity and the Network 21 system around the world without having a big business to do it. When Network 21 launched the international business, the reality is that if you weren't an Emerald or above, you really couldn't participate hands-on in the development of business around the world, because it took too much. It just took too much. You needed, first of all, it was incredibly expensive, as you can imagine, of how many trips in the beginning of the market that I took to the Philippines, and how many times that I went to your country and loved it, but it was very expensive. Airfare from the US almost every month. And so the capital investment that it took, the challenge of how much time it took away from your market, that when I would go to the Philippines or Romania or India or all of these markets around the world, that it was weeks away from home and weeks away from my own market. And so if you, and you needed to have a large organization to be able to draw the amount of potential prospective leaders in that market, and you had to be able to develop a leader first in your own market. So it was very complicated. It was very challenging. Took a lot of experience in the business. So it was limited. The opportunity was limited. But I saw through technology that had changed, and that the future of the Network 21 business. In fact, I just made a joke on that last slide of saying that it's Network 21, but 2.0. That, you know, when Network 21 was named, I don't know if you know where the name came from, but it was named to represent that Network 21 was the business that with the Amway business with the Network 21 system would translate to the business model and business opportunity of the 21st century. Now, when they designed that and launched that, we weren't in the 21st century. We were in the 20th century, and those leaders, Jim Dornan, Bob Andrews, a gentleman named John Newton from Australia, upline to all of the Australian business. John is actually who coined the name Network 21. But that was a vision for the next century, for the next century. Now, we're a long way away from the 22nd century, but we're way past that vision that they had for the 20th century. And so when I say 2.0 is because of this, what I think will be the next major growth of Network 21 around the world. And starting the model in developing business in North America. That's what I want to talk to you about today, is an overview, if you will, of what is available and what I see over. And by the way, when I say that I'm scared and excited, I've always been excited. Scared is because we are literally weeks away from having everything in place to absolutely launch the opening of North America, no matter where you live in the world, no matter what level of business you are right now. And that by participating in that it not only, it won't be a distraction to your current business, but will actually enhance, I believe, your current business in the Philippines. And I'll go into that in particular. But so I always, whenever I want to talk about something, I think it's always good, as we know, is to start with why. Why would I say that we're going to launch the business and focus in North America? That's why I want to address this why. Now, I know your why in the business can be a lot of things. It can be money, it can be time, it can be recognition, it can be being somebody, it can be having the ability to travel around the world, it can be you want to speak, you know, whatever your why is in the business. The why I believe of starting in North America is, first of all, it is the biggest return on your investment, of that it is worthwhile for you to pay attention to this. North America is the most lucrative market in Amway. In other words, the same level of business, the same PV here, the same amount of business, the same amount of products that are consumed and products that are marketed that translate into PV. This is the most profitable market. Right now, Amway Corporation, just like your market, has enhanced our market through the bronze incentive programs, and they actually just added another one to it. We actually have an addition to the program. But right now, for building the business in North America, which every single one of you are eligible to be able to do this, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. And you'll have to tell me, but a Leaders Club, 1,000 PV, which usually comes from registering 5 people statistically. 5 people usually translate into about 20 people in North America. And because of the amount of products and all of that, the bonuses just for that is $280 US. Translated into the Philippine peso today, for 1,000 PV, that's 15,798 Philippine pesos. Now, you tell me, is that pretty good? I mean, I don't know what you make at Leaders Club in the Philippines, but I wish I could see all your faces. ELC in North America, that's 2,500 PV. That's registering 10 people statistically to reach that level in this market is 1,377 US dollars, which translates to over 77,000 pesos. Now, I don't know what level, you would have to tell me, what level would you have to reach in for 77,000 pesos a month? My bet is you would have to be at least a platinum. That's my bet. How many of you is this registering? This means one fourth of an effort. In other words, instead of getting 10,000 PV to make that money, 2,500 PV. Now, platinum right now in the US is worth almost 6,000 US dollars, which is 322,000 pesos a month for being a platinum in North America. Now, I don't know what level you would have to be in the Philippines to earn that money, but my bet is this: that's probably an emerald level in the Philippines, or almost yeah. So how many are you following how when I say return on your investment? Now, an emerald in the US would make about 200,000 US dollars. Okay, that's 11 over 11 million pesos. So it is the biggest return on investment is North America. Second, though, it's the easiest place to do business. Now, Ryan mentioned when he was introducing it that they've sponsored people in other markets around the world. And I've got to tell you, so have I. And it's not an easy peasy thing to do. I mean, usually the things that you have to set up, I can't tell you how many markets I've either actually it was so complicated, I ended up just not having a business in the market. For some markets like India, so complicated that for me to have a business in India cost me, and this is a lot of years ago, $11,000 in legal and expertise to be able to set up a business in India. Here in North America, all you need is an address. Now, this is for everybody. Anybody can have a business. Technically, you're supposed to be a platinum to have a business in another market. But technically, that's just an Amway rule. That's not a legal rule of the United States. In fact, the United States opens its doors for people to own businesses here in the United States and not have to live here, not have to have a green card, that you can legally own a business in North America. And all you have to have to do that is an address, a mobile phone number, and what's called an individual tax ID number, which is called a TIN, that costs nothing, that is just a matter of mailing in forms and an identification if you're not located in the United States to get a tax number. And when you have a tax number, then you are eligible, and $65 to join the business in North America. That's what it would cost, about $65. But now they've added something new. And we were talking about this and in just a counseling session that Olive and Ryan and I were having. And that's what prompted them to want to have this meeting. In North America, and I believe in every market around the world, Amway Corporation will change the way they pay bonuses through what's called a hyper wallet. Now, hyper wallet is just an online financial thing like PayPal. It's owned by PayPal. And what's exciting about hyper wallet is here in North America, in fact, started in March, every bonus now is paid into the IBO, independent business owner, what we're called here is independent business owners, not ABOs, we're called IBOs here, that every IBO received their bonuses, every bonus in through paid into their hyper wallet. Now, what's exciting about the hyper wallet is that I don't know what you would call it, that application then allows money to be transferred to any bank account, any place in the world. In other words, this change in March means that a complication that existed before in doing business in North America, which was, okay, I earn income, but how do I receive the income? Previously, it was more complicated. It just was complicated. You either had to have a US bank account and then transfer money to the Philippines, or you had to get a debit card from the Amway Corporation and they paid into the debit card, and then it had to be mailed. If you registered, I had to have it come to me, or it had to come to an address and it had to be forwarded. It was just complicated. That is no longer the case. Now, the particulars of this, and some of you are asking some questions here that and I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Olive or Ryan, but I have planned for all of you that are interested in developing business in North America. It's going to take at least a 2 or 3 training meeting on every specific thing of this, so that this is absolutely turnkey, that you will know exactly what to do step by step to create and develop business in North America. One of the things is, how do you get a tax number? How do you do it? What are the forms? All of that I have, but if I went through that, if I just went through that, that would take all our time today. So we need to schedule, for those that are interested, international business development training meeting, and with that, a manual, a playbook, if you will, a Syzygy playbook of developing business in these markets. But I don't want to complicate it, because North America is the easiest market to do. Now, the third thing, and the reason why, if I was you, I would be excited about it, is it should not be a distraction from your current business. The future of the business is a business with no borders. And that always starts with the proper thinking. Right now, the biggest challenge that you have is that you think geographically and not internationally. In other words, you think of the Philippines. I guarantee you do. In the same way that before COVID, I talked way about a business with no borders and having an online presence and being able to be up on technology in all of the opportunity that was available because of technology. And I think you would agree that 99% of you did not, you were like me with Jim. You didn't question it. It's just you didn't change your mindset, because you're used to meeting in person. You were used to having environments that you went to, and the preview that you went to, the BBSs you went to, all of those things. When you showed the plan, you met one-on-one with somebody, or you met them in a group meeting, but it was live. And then COVID came, and guess what? You couldn't do it. And many of you still feel restricted of doing it. Your country is still not open. It's here in the US. COVID's over for us. It's over. You might see a few people wearing masks, but people are out. There is no longer those restrictions in the US. Why? Because Americans have a different mindset. I'm not saying it's better than countries that are not open. I'm just telling you it's a different mindset. We are no longer fearful of COVID. we are either vaccinated or we're masked does everybody follow what I mean? Give me a thumbs up, because I hate when I'm just talking to my screen. It starts with a different mindset. If you have a different mindset about eliminating the borders in your mind of where business can be created, all of a sudden your business changes. Right now, if you think locally, that's what you have. You have a local business. You have a one place business, instead of opening your mind to companies like Apple and Coca-Cola and international companies. I mean, do you follow me? They don't think North America, they think globally. And when you have a global mindset, you have a different posture when you can talk to people about North America. It all of a sudden makes the opportunity bigger. Do you guys understand that? A global opportunity is bigger than a local opportunity in any business. So your sponsoring rate, do you know, people in North America got in the Amway business? Do you know how many that the Philippine, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Scandinavia, all of those business in every market? Absolutely. You couldn't count the number of Filipinos in North America in Network 21 before the announcement of the opening of the market. Once the market was announced that it was opening, floods of Philippine prospects in North America were all of a sudden interested in the Amway business. They had a different understanding of it. They had a different vision of it. It just changed, and that will change in the Philippines if your mindset changes. And when you can meet with people, not even to talk to them about Amway, you can make appointments with people, not to show them the Amway business, but just by the comment of, hey, you know what? I don't know if I've mentioned, I own my own business and I'm expanding my business into North America. And I'm looking for some key people in North America, and just wondering, do you know any quality people in North America? Well, if you do, this might be, hey, it might even be financially lucrative for you. We should meet and get together and talk. And all of a sudden, you have the opportunity to talk to people. And number one, whether they're interested in the Amway business or not, if they know people, that you have a way to expand your list and expand your list in the Philippines by using genuinely, authentically, with integrity, that you're not using it as a prospecting ploy, that you're serious. You're expanding your business in North America. You're looking for a few key people. Now, the last thing that it will enhance your business, when you can increase your income, everything increases. Your lifestyle. How many would agree with this? If you made an extra, I don't know in what that translated in pesos again, but if 1,300, if you had an extra $1,000 a month, that would be over 50,000 pesos for sure. Probably 56, 57,000 pesos. If you had an extra 57,000 pesos right now, every month, how many of you would say your life would change? Your life would change. Everything would change. I know one thing you love. You love to travel. Nothing gets you more excited than Amway's trips. Every time they announce it, would you agree with that? You love to travel. Do you realize if you had, where could you go? What kind of vacation could you have with an extra $10,000 to travel with a year? What kind of car would you drive? What kind of home would you live in? What would your lifestyle be? Do you realize that when your example, when your life genuinely changes, you build the dream for other people? How many would agree with that? When you see on Instagram and you see other people on Instagram with when you see a diamond lifestyle on Facebook or other places, how many of you, it motivates you? It motivates you. It inspires you. So when you increase your income in your business, which in North America, it is dramatic. Also, we have the biggest product lines. We have the highest volume per person in the world is in North America, which translates to less number of people for more PV, for more income. Also, you don't have a language barrier. Some of the markets I deal in, it's the biggest challenge I have of building depth because my leader might speak English, but downline in the organization, they don't speak English. So if you've never built a business internationally, time zone, do you realize we are 12 hours apart. In the Philippines, you can work North America at the most convenient times. If you get up early before work, just like me, I got up early for this, right? I got up at 6 because I want to do business in the Philippines, which I'm able to do that because I can just get up early and 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning for me is 6, 7, 8, and 9 for you. It is a convenient time zone. Sometimes I talk to Ariel or Olive and Ryan. I do it the opposite. It's night for me, morning for them. We just reverse it. So it is a convenient time zone. Plus, you have a huge Philippine population, and not that you have to restrict it to other Filipinos. I'm just saying probably most of the people you know in North America are from the Philippines. They are Filipino or their family. And here you have support, Network 21 support, Syzygy support, and my personal support. I've told you before, I am so excited about this opportunity that I would help any IBO that's doing business here develop 2 legs, not 1 leg, 2 legs to make you profitable in North America. So there are a lot of advantages of why I would say this is the market to learn the future from. By the way, you learn it here in North America, and we work out all of the challenges because there's going to be challenges. I'm going to talk to you about how to do it now, but how to do it right now, we're going to have some challenges. You know, we're going to have a framework to start. But within that framework, there are going to be things that I didn't think of, you didn't think of, that can and will be overcome. But once you have that, do you realize that my first market, the first market that I actually participated in was Chile. I went and opened Chile and am a platinum in Chile. That was the first place that I went. I didn't really do that well in Chile. I did well enough to get a leg credit and all of that. But that was a learning experience for me. Let me tell you, by the time the Philippines opened, I had it down. They will tell you, for those that were involved in the opening of the Philippines, my organization had it down. The leaders that came to the Philippines and taught the system and all of that, it was a machine by then. There was a machine, and that machine went, and that's why I have big business in the Philippines, and I have big business in India, and I have big business in Romania, and I would have had bigger businesses in other markets, but we ran out of markets. By the time I got involved internationally, Amway had opened up almost all the markets. So it starts with why. And then when we move to how, like I said, I don't want to recover this, but I can't express enough. The number one thing that you have to change is your thinking. To be successful in this market or your market or any market in the world, you have to change your mindset. So if you say, well, how would I build the business in North America? What's the framework? How would I do that? Many people are paralyzed because you picture building the business in your market different than building the business in another market. And sometimes in the past, you were handicapped in that. We were handicapped. But in today, if you understand the Network 21 system, the Network 21 system was created by observing thousands of people in all markets and identifying the common denominators that all the successful people shared. Everything in the Network 21 system came through observation in other markets. So when you come to, when you look at the market in the Philippines and you say, well, what do I do in the Philippines? You would just do the same thing in North America. There is no difference. There is no difference in the markets. How do you build in North America? Well, what do you do in the Philippines? You sell appointments and you sell tickets. Now, it's so the same for you now because you don't even have as many, I don't think, hybrid meetings as we do in North America. In North America, we're face-to-face. Our meetings are face-to-face. And I show people the plan personally, meet with them, show them the plan. But in a lot of markets, and I know with my conversations with Olive and Ryan and Ariel, you guys are still doing a preponderance of your meetings online. Am I right? Just like we're doing today. Well, do you realize when we're doing this, it doesn't matter where we are in the world. It doesn't matter. You still are selling appointments and you're selling tickets. You're still involved with the activity loop. You make a list, you make appointments, you show the plan, you follow up, you do a startup, doesn't change. Now it's going to be even easier for you here, and you build relationships and you edify your upline. Now the edification is really going to be your secret weapon in building the business in North America. Right now, when I say we're just a few weeks away, Network 21 is making, and so is Team Syzygy here in North America, we are making some changes that are going to be launched over the next 4 weeks in North America. And one is Network 21 is going to be hosting a 20 to 30 minute preview here in North America in each one of the time zones. And that's going to be hosted by Network 21. What does that mean? That means it's going to go to a whole new level online in professionalism. It's going to go to where there is a professional MC to introduce the presenter. The presenter is going to be recorded professionally in the Network 21 studio. So the plan itself is going to be pre-recorded and very professional with an introduction. It's going to have impact statements afterwards. There is going to be, again, on a very high professional level with professional equipment, lighting, sound, all of those things to bring an incredible experience to your potential partners here in North America. In other words, when you say sell appointments, do I have to learn the plan? No, you don't have to learn the plan. Could you learn the plan? Of course, it's easy peasy simple. It's a simple plan. It doesn't change. The only thing that changes in a market is the number and the products, but it's easy, but you don't even have to do that. You can make appointments with prospects here in North America And I guarantee you that I am willing to show the plan with you or for you to develop business at first in North America, or you can just promote the Network 21 preview. Now, also, I am doing the same thing that Network 21 does for Team Syzygy in North America, so that we can cover 2 nights of previews. So like a Tuesday and Thursday night, and you would just be able to promote it. Now, the edification, though, is critical because of this. To support the business the best, I think your mindset should be in building relationships, in promoting anything, promoting different areas of the business should not change based on the market that you're working in. That should be exactly the same. But you have a secret weapon here in North America. I have a big vision and big goals. And if I can connect with your IBO here in North America, I will be their upline and will develop the business. Now, there's a few people here that didn't take advantage of it, no matter how much I encouraged them to do it. I wish I could see you all in a gallery. I can't see you, but I would say this. Let me go through this. Some of the, oh yeah, there you go, there you are. For example, if you were to check with, let me see. I'm trying to think of anyway, this is where I'm getting at. A few of you have been here in North America and you've signed up in the business. And how many of you could testify that I told you all the time, I'm not your diamond, I'm your sponsor. I am your sponsor. I will model everything for you. You don't have to look at this or look at me as if I'm Mike Wilson, the diamond speaker from North America. I am your upline. How many understand this? In other words, if I can connect, the challenge is normally, if you're sponsoring people in North America and they're not, I don't have the opportunity and the ability to meet them, connect with them, build a relationship, have trust with them. If I don't do that, then I can't help them. People don't care what you know till they know that you care. They have to have a personal relationship. But I would do that. Eris and Susan, they would tell you that I drove from Atlanta, Georgia to their place multiple times and told them, I will come do a whole meeting. I'll come and do one-on-ones. The only thing I don't know is who you know. But you have to be able to successfully, does everybody understand this? You have to be able to edify and bridge that to give me you can't build a relationship for me. Don't get me wrong. You can't build the relationship with your leadership here in North America, your potential leadership. You can't build that relationship for me, but you can open the door. You can open the door for that relationship. And I just guarantee you, it is critical for your success in North America. So that's the specific how-tos on every one of those steps. Like I mentioned, we will have training for that and for those of you that are interested. Again, That means that there's going to be a lag. There's going to be about a 3 or 4 week, 5 week lag between our meeting today and an official launch of North America, right? Because we want the previews to be up and running. I want you equipped, that you're excited, that you know how to approach the people here that you know in North America, that you know how and where the meetings are, that you can promote, what the Syzygy opportunities are, all of the programs that's available. I'm recording right now multiple training for North America. I have a program called Foundations that I'm recording right now. Foundations is right after somebody comes in the business. It's a 4 series that they can watch on their own. They can go through it in a day, or they can do it in 4 weeks, but they're about 20-30-minute modules on how to think right to succeed in the Amway business. Because we don't commit to what we don't believe, and we don't believe to what we don't understand. So it's one module is understanding the Amway business model. One module is understanding the Network 21 system and how that fits in with the Amway opportunity. One is on the principles of success and how that fits into success in the business. That's followed by a series called Fundamentals. Fundamentals is teaching on every fundamental you need to build an Amway business, building a list, making appointments, showing the plan, following up, starting people. And that's a series. It's a recorded series people can watch. So your IBOs in North America, even if you didn't have me here to help, will have a series, a training that you can just plug them into. So all of that I want in place. All of that will be in place for the opening. But there are things you can do right now. The first one, in the next 2 to 4 weeks, you can begin to imagine, what if this is true? What if this is the future? I believe, just like when Jim's vision was launched, I believe that there is somebody on the webinar tonight who will be one of the next biggest businesses in Network 21 worldwide. I truly believe that. Somebody is going to catch a vision and say, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn this because this is the future. And I don't want to be caught like I was with COVID, when I was told this is what I should do, this is where the potential is, but I was unwilling to do it until I had to do it. And so right now, having clarity on your why and having that set, that's where I would start. How do I think my mindset to it? But in the same time, I would say you should begin to build a list of potential people. The bigger your list, the better. And especially because of the programs that I have been designed in recording and the way the business will be worked. It's not like you're limited to how many people you can work with. So who do you know right now in North America? I would start building that list. Second, I would begin to be meeting with your group. And I mean as in a group meeting, but also one-on-one. Do you know how many people that are inactive right now in your organization today, that if you brought them a new vision, something different, opportunity, people that don't have a list anymore in the Philippines, if they came and believed, you guys, is this registering with you? These are people you can meet. You have a reason to go meet. And with technology, you don't have to get in your car and go do it. You just schedule a Zoom meeting with everybody in your group and you share what's coming. And even if I was talking to you, and I might say, Ian, you know what? I don't care if you participate in this or not. But who do you know? Who do you know? Give me your list, buddy, and I will build a leg in North America for you. Just who do you know? The international leg credit and check coming back to you. Wow. Everybody follow this? You can build not just from who you know, but also, like I said, and finally, by building a list, by sharing just with people you know, maybe people you've been scared to make an appointment with to show the business, but just sharing with them that you're expanding your business worldwide. That's what I would tell them. I'd say, wow, my business just went global. I can't believe it. Technology's changed the whole thing. I'm taking my Amway business globally, and I'm just looking, I'm starting in North America. I'm focusing in North America, later the world. But right now in North America, who do you know? This could be lucrative for you. Just register in the Philippines, give me who you know worldwide. And I guarantee you, many of those people are going to say, are you kidding me? I'll register. And well, for a global business, this would be worth it. It raises the bar. So that's what I have for you tonight. Till the next step was in the training. But I'm like I said, I'm excited out of my mind. I'm a little bit scared because of how big this can be. And whenever you have a vision and you have goals, it changes your life in a good way. And I know my life is going to change. That's at least that's my goal, is to have my life change. So I don't know if you want to take a minute, Olive, Ryan, for any questions.
Yes, Mike. I think we can open the floor now for any questions, urgent concerns that you might have. But before you do, Mike, when do we schedule the training? You said a few weeks from now. Can we set a date, or
no, you can set the dates, Olive. I just didn't know what works. You know, I don't know all your programs and you know what's good for the group for the Philippines, but you know, I'm ready to start whenever you're ready to start.
The trainings, you mean?
Yes.
I think
because in the next 4 weeks, over the next 4 weeks, I would like everybody to be equipped and comfortable that when the previews are up and running in North America in 4 weeks, and not that we have to wait for that, but historically, and I would love feedback from the group too, because some of you sat in on these meetings talking about a business with no border and expanding. I just find this, the more people are comfortable on exactly what they need to do, the more they follow up and do it. When you don't know exactly what to do, you get paralyzed. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Like
Agreed.
right now, how do I get a tax number? I need to get registered in North America. See, some of you, that's what you would want to do. That would be the first training meeting, is how do I set up a second business in North America if I don't have one? So that you know exactly what's required to do that, what Amway requires for you to do that, what the US government requires for you to do that. You know, this is the only thing the government cares about. You pay taxes. You make money, you pay taxes. That's what they care about, right?
Sorry, Mike, there was a question about taxes now that you're mentioning it. At what point do we have to pay taxes?
When you make over $600.
Okay.
Okay. But let me just go through this too. How many of you realize that the United States, no, $600 a year. So when you make $600 a year, Amway Corporation will send what it's called a 1099. It's a simple form. When you make, they don't they don't report income. Businesses don't report income until you've accumulated over the year. If Amway Corporation paid you $600 in a year, they're going to file a 1099 with the Internal Revenue Service, and they're going to send you that form, and you would then pay taxes on $600. Let me tell you two things about taxes. And again, I can cover this in the training, but just to encourage you, because it'll paralyze you if you don't realize it. First of all, you own a business. And in the US, the most favorable tax situation is owning a business. You have huge business write-offs in North America. If, for example, right now, you bought equipment, right? You bought lighting, you bought a little ring light, or you bought a little webcam, right? To make your presentations more professional, or you bought a new computer so you could do it properly, or you bought equipment that you needed to build your business. In the United States, that is tax deductible. That's tax deductible. Not only is that tax deductible, but all of that equipment is tax deductible over a period of time because the government allows you to depreciate it, because they're saying, well, this is in 5 years, you're going to have to buy more lighting. So the value of this is going down. So that's tax deductible. Having your Zoom, you have a Zoom subscription, that is tax deductible. So there, if you should never pay taxes on income from the US until you make way a lot of money. And then when you do, the US has one of the lowest tax rates in the world. I'll say one other thing about the taxes, so it doesn't, I know I elaborate too much. This is my goal. My goal is to pay, I wish I was paying $10 million a year in taxes. Wow. I hope my tax bill skyrockets. I wish I was paying the taxes Dornans pay. If I was paying the taxes Dornans pay, I would have Dornan's lifestyle.
I guess that's something we're gonna cover when
Yeah,
we
I'll cover it in detail, but you know, and it's easy. I mean, online tax service, you don't have to do it. I don't do my taxes. I have somebody does my taxes.
yeah. Oh, that's online? You can hire someone online to do it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. You can hire somebody to get the TIN number for you.
Okay, so we'll learn.
It costs nothing. It costs nothing to do it, but if you're hesitant or you don't think you have, you know, it's just a form. You fill out a form, you send, you have to have identification and multiple, unless you send them your passport. You can submit your passport. It means that for 4 to 6 weeks, you're not going to have a passport. So if you need your passport, you wouldn't want to do that. But if you don't, the US government handles it, sends it back to you.
Original passport?
Yep. By the way, I have to send my original passport. I've sent the US government my original passport multiple times. You know why? Because if I need, like, you went to Russia, you had to have a visa.
Yeah.
I had to send them my passport to get a visa. Do you see what I mean, Olive? I mean, that's
or maybe we can do it through the embassy here.
You can't get a TIN number through the embassy. You can use, there are in the Philippines accounting firms that can handle it for you. So you
Okay.
would, but that part I haven't investigated enough. Do you know what I mean? I just know how to get it through through the mail, right? You mail the form and the stuff, and
Right. Well, Ryan has a TIN number because he lived in the US. So for 5 years. So he has a TIN number because of that. I remember we also got the TIN number before. We were just there as visitors. We were able to get the TIN number.
yeah. It's if you're here in the US and you go to an IRS office, you get it. I mean, it costs nothing. It's there for this reason, you know.
Mhm. So, but Mike, without the TIN number, you can't start your US business.
You can't register with the corporation anymore. That's a change.
Oh, not like here in the Philippines.
Yeah, no.
Right.
In the US, it's because of the bad players, network marketing company, bad players here. The Federal Trade Commission is really, really clamped down on challenges that they feel that have been with network marketing companies. And so part of it is that, you know, for the Amway business to work, so we don't have to go through major gyrations tax-wise like a normal business would have to do. If you started a normal business in the US, very complicated. You don't just register with the Amway Corporation like it is right now and you're in business. So to do that, they have to ensure to the government that just like every business, that the people that are in the business are legally in business, meaning they have a Social Security number, they have an employee ID number, identification number, which is possible to get instead of a TIN number. That's another conversation. I don't want to take all your time with it. In other words, Amway Corporation has to know that you are doing business legally in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they require it.
I understand. We're doing it here as well, but not that strict. We can sign up people without the necessary government permits. But we are highly encouraged. Everybody knows that. That was a recent change. Amway became strict about it. Yeah. Anyway.
In the United States, you used to could too, Olive, but ultimately you had to have it.
Yeah.
You know.
Saul has a question. What happens to those who have existing license in the US, like her, and she doesn't have it?
No. Ultimately, they're going to want you to have, you know, for your taxes, they're going to want a TIN number. And if you currently have business in the United States, right, you've already registered, then the good news is you're not restricted from expanding your business. It's business as usual, right? It's business as usual. Nothing's changing. But you should get a TIN number right now, because ultimately they will require that.
Okay. So our next meeting will be about how to get the TIN number. And that's going to be open to all of you. But I suggest to those who are really looking at developing a North American business and getting a piece of that pie, you know, that action that Mike was talking about. You know, the dollars in the US, they're dollars. But when they're converted to pesos, you guys, you know how big it becomes. 1,000 US dollars is the salary of a bank manager, more or less, I think. Yeah, I haven't worked at a corporation, but more or less. Imagine. And that's just ELC. So it's going to be worth our effort and time to learn it and make that a strong income, or maybe it's not just second, but even first income. I don't know. It's up to you. But we're excited, Mike, to learn.
Well, let me add something that you don't even think about that becomes more and more important in a global economy is it's just a hedge for the economy. Do you realize that when the dollar is super strong, my income in another market when the dollar's weak, I make more money sometimes in other markets. When it's strong, do you see what I mean? I don't care what happens to the dollar. It impacts my income, positive and negative, every place. Can you imagine how diversified the Dornan income is around the world? It's not, it's, you know, so it's a hedge. It's a hedge for inflation, for the dollar. All of those things are, you know, super positive right now. Right now, if you make a few dollars in the US, wow, your Philippine income is through the roof. Do you know? But if the dollar gets weak, well, you just make more money on the other side. It's
amazing.
It is. See, and again, all of this goes back to mindset. Over the next 5-10 years, this thing of getting a 10 number, this is nothing compared to doing business in Italy. This is nothing compared to doing business in some markets around the world, what you have to do. To send in a form with your passport, it costs you nothing, by the way, zero. Government doesn't even charge you to get a 10 number. There's no cost to it.
Mm-hmm.
For the future, for Syzygy, that training meeting and that Syzygy manual playbook of like how to do business in the UK, how to do business in Italy, how to do business in Eastern Europe. Those are way more complicated markets. Way more complicated.
Besides, you can't have a second business in those areas. You can only sponsor internationally, not like in the US. It is a second business. And that's a different long story now, but that means you have your identity in the US. You're not, you're allowed to have a business in the US and Hong Kong. Yeah.
Some of you come to the US, right? You have relatives here. How many, you know, come to the US, you have business here, you might come. Now you go see your relatives, your friends, it's tax deductible.
Oh. Business expense. Okay, so we'll amazing. Will our team meetings for our recognition night and leaders meetings and stuff are usually on Thursday night like this. Mm-hmm. But they happen only in the first and the second Thursdays of the month. Those are the dates for our team meetings. Maybe we can tentatively set, because Mike said in a few weeks, the new plans are going to launch. They're like 20 minutes each. And this has been cooking for quite a while. So we're excited to really have that impactful 20-minute professionally done plan. So maybe next Thursday, Mike, same time.
Works for me.
Yeah. And I'll inform Ariel about it too, get his feedback, which is also very valuable. But as you know, Ariel is in the wake of his mom right now. And I told him that we would record it so he can hear. So he'll hear what we discussed. And tentatively we'll set it on Thursday, 1 week from now. Okay, you guys have time to digest and and build a list and you know, build a dream, a bigger dream. Okay. So any other question that can't wait? Or next week na lang? Next week. Okay.
Okay, you guys have a great week and get ready for an unbelievable future.
Thank you so much, Mike. I mean, we wouldn't understand what to do.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, God bless you guys. You're the best.
Thanks,
Love it.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mike.
so much.
Thank you, Mike. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Wala na si Mike. Okay.
Yeah, good night,
Thanks, Olive
everyone.
and Ryan.
We
Thank
have
you.
Butch tomorrow. It's a nice book. Bye.